your way of game one of this best of 3, and the team you're playing against is already saying, hey, you're the best team here. I kind of feel like, you know, if Betboom that Parivision is the best team here, that does say something about a team, Jenkins, because I normally think, and we heard it yesterday from Panto as well, normally when you come into a tournament, you have to believe that you're the best.
Yeah, it does say a lot. I think this team was very good in their first iteration with Crystallis, and they got even better with Satanic. One thing about Parivision is, yes, they do stomp a lot of their games.
It's dire.
They don't. And they find a way. It's like it's rare that it happens, but it's like when it does, they still all act like it just seems so hard to break this team. We've really not seen many teams pressure them too hard.
That's very true. What Jenkins mentioned, because there were so many times that I've watched Parivision play, and they're behind in net worth. And actually, a specific game comes to mind versus Betboom, actually, during Blast. They were down like 10k net Aurora. It was Aurora, but they were down 10 to 15k net worth the entire game, but they didn't play like it. Just because Satanic had good net worth on his Morphling, they were able to just play around him the entire time. And when I asked DM about it, he said, we were down in net worth? I didn't even realize.
That is super interesting. I wondered for these teams that do that. Spirit does that as well with Yatoro. Like, do they even know, or is it just a feeling like somebody is strong, so they have plays to make on the map? So that's cool to hear.
Well, Parivision is someone who is strong. Templar Assassin does get banned. It gets let through. It's a conscious decision, seemingly by Betboom.
10 seconds.
Yeah, trade-off is that they get one of their ideal supports. Nagasirin Tome's single game with it. It's like the last couple days trending support right now that is very effective. So giving arguably the best carry in the patch to Parivision is definitely spooky because it's very flexible between mid and safe lane, which is worrisome, but it did get a little baby nerfed, so may have the trade-off there.
Do you guys want to know how many times TA was let through after the patch?
Yeah.
She was let through 7 times. She's won every single game.
Yeah, that checks
after
out.
the patch.
That checks out.
And then there was like another B patch, right?
Yes.
She's still winning every single game. So
yeah, I want to publicly change my opinion on this hero. I've been playing pubs for the last couple of days, and it is still impossible to play against. Like, it just really doesn't feel like
10 seconds.
What the hero did on the previous patch has changed that much, because it was such a good laner that like you had to just leave the lane as an off laner anyway.
Should have seen that one coming.
You would literally just and I'm still like, okay, well, I need to leave, because if you're not there, right, it doesn't matter how strong she is, whether she's like 50% stronger, 20% stronger, she's gonna destroy you in lane.
And she's just so good at going to the jungle. If you do manage to draft a lane that can shut her down and kick her out,
10
if she
seconds.
hits the jungle, she's keeping up in net worth anyway. She's just so naturally good at it, but it does keep
5
it.
seconds left.
There's nothing that you can do as a team to slow down TA's farm. That's her issue.
I do like Wind Ranger at Gordon lane though, because at least you can dodge some of her damage up. But if things get spooky, and it already fits into their perfect strat anyways. This is Save's most played hero. His win rate was 70% at the day, and overall bad win rate, but on save excellent. So I think they got their ideal 2 supports here. They're just gonna have to find a way to break this TA in the mid or late game with better hero matchups.
And if they do choose a hero that either like leaves the lane or cuts the lane, whatever, Windrunner is very good at playing with that. Like, you can sometimes take the lane if I know Sand King's not picked. It did just get a little bit of a buff. The win rate went up hugely, by the way. It's like 6% win rate increase.
Wow.
Yeah, it's, but I think, you know, some Darkseer, Bristol-esque hero, which of course are banned, maybe Centaur, something to cut the waves. Like, Windrunner loves playing with these types of heroes as well.
Yeah, I just thought Windrunner is good at pressuring TA in lane though. That's probably her biggest weakness, but as the game progresses, like, you do have Focus Fire to eat away at the refraction. But also my favorite with TA interaction is if TA is low and presses refraction, you still I've done it a couple of times in pubs. I was like, yep, this is awesome.
Very satisfying.
Yeah, technically, you're doing like 1,000 extra damage because you're technically breaking all of the refraction charges at once, right?
It's so long as she's below the kill threshold.
Right.
She's just gonna get executed, because if the damage applies, then the threshold...
No, but I'm saying like, since you're killing her through it, it's like effectively...
Right. I haven't seen it happen in this tournament though. I've definitely been very giddy.
This is a value gyro pick. A lot of teams pick it with the Beastmaster to cover from your opponent picking Gyrocopter, but they're also against a Tombstone. And they have Rocket Barrage to deal with the TA refractions. So like a lot of the times I've seen gyro pick, I wasn't the biggest fan. The win rate is not good, but I think this is the best circumstance I've seen to pick so far.
I think when you play against Undying, who has also just been on a tear this tournament in terms of win rate, you need a way to kill him comfortably. So it's either like a ranged hero like Gyro that can hit it with flat cannon on and still do damage in the team fight, or any kind of like vision support. But Windranger herself should be able to get on top of the tombstone too.
That's true. If only you can focus fire it.
Seconds.
Only. No, unironically, we've seen a lot of fights just be lost because nobody hits the tomb, or at least can't kill the tomb. That's probably this hero's biggest strength.
And Kunkka still feels just as strong as ever. Honestly, Blade Mail, Radiance, even saw Ace do like a Blade Mail Sanjin Yasha off-lane build.
That's cool, and a heart.
Yeah, he was just running in and like in tanking.
I think Kunkka is kind of a hero of this tournament, or of this series actually, because it's one of the heroes Betboom actually doesn't win on very much with Curative.
10 seconds.
So it might be a hero that ends up just being Parivisions almost every game, and maybe Betboom has to reluctantly take it.
And Parivision can still run Kunkka as a carry, and they can run mid TF.
Yeah.
That's always an option.
And they run Undying as a
Offlane.
offlane
That's
if
true.
they want to.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of flex potential still on the side of Parivision. I would say there's close to 0 on the side.
I think probably you don't run Undying offlane against Gyro. I feel like Gyro would do very well against that. Just run the Undying as a... you're going to do great in lane against like a Wind Beast. I feel like you can probably solo zone both of these heroes up until like level 3.
I think that I would prefer if a Kunkka went to safe lane actually, just because it feels like it heavily shuts down Beastmaster, and EA has very few bad matchups mid now, and the way that they're banning with heroes like Death Prophet, which are DOT heroes, that could indicate that they are thinking of playing this game.
5 seconds left.
Also, Satanic has had so many good performances on Kunkka that
Yes, he has.
I'm just excited to watch him buy 3 rapiers.
Yeah, it's a late game. It's a late game build now because you get rapiers. So.
And so what is Betboom still worried about? They banned out the Doom. Is there any unusual suspect that we're still worried about? I mean, I find that this game compared to some others, we don't have a lot of supports banned. That's also because they see them picked up fairly early on. There's still one strong one that you can slide in, and potentially an idea as well. As they do ban out the Tide Hunter, so not offlaner removed.
Yeah, a lot of teamfight heroes getting banned. That gives them the ability to win fights. Naga Sleep should allow them to possibly Song Kill Tomb or Song Disengage after an X combo, or BKBs get pressed. So that looks good, but I think they're worried about overwhelming teamfight with the final pick from Parivision here.
I also think that what they're lacking right now on Betboom is just damage, because Gyro is going to be farming for a little while and you can't add him to every fight, and a lot of this patch has just been 3-man ball with your mid laner and 2 supports. So the 2 supports and Naga and Windranger, they do have a lot of utility but not enough damage, so you have to make up for that right now for Betboom through GPK's hero.
And these are the 2 heroes they banned are 2 of the ones that he has good win rates on. I think he was 66% on Death Prophet. He won both of his 2 games on Huskar. And they're going to pick a Chen, so Undying offlane for sure. A lot of heals coming. Oh, I don't know. You're about to get. Do you have any money on you, Sheever? This is how this goes at night.
Where do you think I'm gonna hide anything, dude? Normal guy is fired. And we fired him. He could not. He could not pay for his
They have the
right
lights.
to work
Is this new to the bit?
I think the fashion police got called actually.
You could try the next guy. Try him. Try him. No, try this one. Don't try this guy. Try that guy.
It's such a great pick from Parivision.
That was Avery.
Oh yeah, he does that every day. Yeah.
This is a sick Chen pick. Like, it's gonna shut down Beastmaster on lane entirely. Like, it's harder to play into Chen than it would be to play into an Undying. And then it's setting up for this very strong 5-man coming out of Parivision early on. You look at Betboom's, there's gonna be a period of time where they need to farm. They need to be able to use the Song Disengage and push out lanes and things like that. But if you're 5-manning early on Parivision, you just completely negate that.
Yeah, I mean, Beast has to play around the board now, right? Like, people don't really do the Axes, Ags build anymore. So this shuts Beast down way more than it did in the past. It does leave no one against Monkey King mid, which I would imagine is still a pretty big struggle for Kunkka. But also, I feel like no one is one of the few players in the world that you can see in an unfavorable matchup, and he does just fine.
Still wins.
Like, he's so damn stable that you can throw him into these positions, and he's fine.
Well, we're gonna find out. We're gonna test that. Monkey King versus Punka. Will GPK come out on top? Will Betboom come out on top in game number 1? Or potentially it will be Parivision. Let's head over to a commentary view of Cap and SVG. But first, some Pokemon Pandas.
I'll pretend I didn't enjoy this. This was over before the fulfillment of the prophecy.
Must have hit pretty close to the mark to get them all riled up like that.
I hate life.
26, Parivision versus Betboom, a matchup that we have seen time and time again this season. These are two of the top teams of the world, both Eastern European teams, both leading that region in their push for dominance over the Dota 2 scene. This is a matchup, Avery, that as many times as we have seen it, it is not an even matchup at all. Avery, something. Considering the fact that Parivision have won the last 5 series that they have matched up against each other in a best of 3, yeah, I think I'm favoring Parivision.
I once won like 20 series. North America.
Okay.
The hardest region in the world.
The hardest region.
5 series again. Teams.
In a full series.
I don't even know what I was doing 6 months. I cast in Dota.
We were casting that game actually. It was Blast. It was when Betboom went to the finals.
Probably should remember that.
You should remember that.
Okay, getting off to a good start here. I will say it has been some time since I've seen a team dominate a tournament so hard that they get start picky. They get even cockier. Off the limit of the cocky. Pudge is at the top. He is the helicopter on top of Mercy Hospital in Left 4 Dead.
No, that's not true. You said there's one more hero on top of that. Animalizer, remember? It's unrealistic.
Yeah, you're trying to win. Still have to rack.
Animalizer again, we do.
Let's see what Betboom can do. 26 so far. No one's been able to defeat them, but maybe Betboom have the answers. This is the interregional matchup. This is where things get wacky. This is a team that's on the up and up. This is a team that has suddenly destroyed Parivision's router. That's a good first step. It's a step in the right direction.
Or is this just psychological warfare by Parivision?
Could be.
Getting some early...
The persecution starts now.
Router is all. Maybe it was door number 5.
A sour note.
Get off my lawn!
What did you think of the draft? We had some twists and turns there from Parivision. We had a dying pickup. Wasn't sure if it was support or core, and then they go for this late
Must have
10
hit
pickup.
pretty
We
close
heard,
to the mark to get them
Beppy
all
talk
riled
about
up
it.
like
She was
that.
a really big fan of this choice for Parivision.
Must have hit pretty close to the mark to get them all riled up like that.
I mean, it does feel like another Parivision lineup where it's pretty creative. It has a lot of sustain and tank ability. It has some fast objective clearing. Kind of has a little bit of everything. You have this awkward hero for 9 class, the Rubik, which has not been performing well lately, but still a very strong hero in the right hand. Or I should say it's hard to believe.
Это была база.
If I had to pick one hero I have total faith in right now in the meta, it's the Naga Siren. I just think this hero is
A fulfillment of the prophecy.
Get too
A
old for this
fulfillment of the
horse.
prophecy.
Я в тильте. Я не в тильте.
Get off my lawn!
close. If you're asking which I would trade out of those, I don't know. I'd have to sit down and really think about it in terms of the matchups. I think that's a bit different, right? But would I trade a Naga for an Aegis? Probably. I think that's pretty team dependent. But in terms of power level, it's absolutely up there, and I think you really have to respect this hero. This is a hero that could easily start to play more of the counters.
Sing your praises.
Heroes or like these Elder Titans or Clocks or whatever, but until then, this hero just dominates team fights. He makes the
Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God.
He gives you sustained mechanics. He's a really good objective fighter, and in theory, this is an anti-Undying hero. Really tough hero for Undying to play against, and you can just sleep through his day.
Да, это была база.
You're not going with me.
Like, that is the one thing they have going for them.
3, 2, 1, let's go.
They got the Screen Ranger again. Another hero I believe in, I think Save has proved can be really valuable in the game. I think he's brought the shard.
I never expected to walk away with a win in the end. Whether it's the series or
That's not pretty biased by me. Before we got out here, you said that Parivision is your favorite team in the last 5 years. That's a sure. You just said, well, I just respect how Parivision plays, and I like the creativity, the variety of picks.
That's definitely correct. You respect Parivision more than I'll give you that.
So, you know, put your bias aside for now and try and catch the team. As mid lane. Shut down the no one comes up, because no one has been able to shut this man down on this field.
Yep.
That's just awesome.
Well, it seems like the Chen has certainly achieved some damage here. When it comes to mana pool, Station Hero almost having nothing left. The early Tater convert as it so. Steelers just going to work.
Still getting a really strong mana pool. I was really surprised that we saw Chen in the last meta that this wasn't. Not that it wasn't picked a lot, but games where people pick some of the other starting to
Sing your praises.
turn now. Trade and save though. You got a Harpy Stormcrafter if he wants it.
It's pretty funny, like, how do you win this lane as Beast Master? Because if you core it up, then you're just getting annihilated on the board. Templar Assassins will farm those. And if you try to go axes, then you're just gonna get all your mana burned.
Stack. And back on the stack. How close is this? The Mind Stealer. This is just the ultimate combo, right? Infinite chain lightnings with the mana regen. Yeah. It's pretty disgusting. These things hurt 140 damage. Every
Okay, just throw it away. But damage done.
Like he gave away that. I think he could have done some damage. Trying to too much as turn into a cold war into the jungle to dodge this matchup. No one not having fun.
That's how you know it's really bad if no one is trying to do lane pulling shenanigans. I feel like he is a player more often than not. It's just down to take the straight 1v1, you know, with normal lane. Never want to have to do it, you know?
No one else I'm going to say there. I don't think
the Huskar player.
I don't think the current Dota climate.
Right, so.
Not.
Fulfillment of the
prophecy.
Quickly cleaned up. I mean, they have a really good yeah, they do. Nog and a gyro. Monkey King has some decent attack speed. You can just drop the Wukong and kill it. And it's not the best for Monkey because you're putting your attack into that instead of putting it into you. You have to. It's not the worst play. And
So basically the
inner beast also do some attack speed mechanics here.
net worth up on him.
Who's ahead as well? No one missed a spot. And his boat is going to come out. Have to find some big openings in their team fight. Maybe get some power. You're not doing much with it. Fall back on some back, couple in the jungle. But nothing to write home about. And Monkey King is one of those heroes that can follow you and just continually ruin your day. Can also contest that Wisdom Shrine, which is going to go like for straight out with completely debilitated mid. Price GPK did not want to go for this rotation. This is like a little bit of a loss. Of course, he is free farming an empty lane. Pretty hard to play down that as well.
In there when it feels like this bottom line of wisdom was successful.
Hero back to the jungle. They have to use that THN lane. Especially with small camp after.